Alright, so nagbabalik tayo sa ating violin tips and tricks. And for today's video, I want to talk about which hand or which body part should you move first, no? Especially in playing stringed instruments. No? Because a lot of beginners tend to struggle with this. No? Yung pagsabay-sabay ng mga nangyayari. When you move something simultaneously. Talaga bang sabay yung left and right hand natin? No? Yan. So that is the topic that we'll talk about today. So first things first, when we start playing kasi, di ba? We all know that the left hand is in charge of our intonation, no? Vibrato. So yung pagtipa, stopping the strings, that's what the left hand is for. And that the right hand is for our bowing, no? Yung tunog natin, phrasing, dynamics, everything. Almost parang hindi nga siya pantay, di ba? It's like 80% comes from your right hand and only 20% comes from your left hand. Pero, that doesn't mean na less dapat yung effort na bibigay mo dito. Because, in this case, no, when we want to play something smoothly, no, especially if we want to play fast passages, dapat intindihin natin kung how they interact with each other, no, especially when we start to play niya. Ayun. So, usually, everything happens with the left hand first. Ayan. So, ito lang general rule. When you're trying to change something, you want to start with the left and then the right comes in. Okay? So, for example, if we do a scale lang, simple G major scale. So, in that case that I played, no, when I started the G major scale. Kung mapapansin nyo kung hindi ko papatunugin, so, pam, 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 di ba? Nauuna lumapat yung left hand before you move the bow. Because, a lot of people think kasi na pag sabay, kailangan sabay din yung movement. This is what happens if sabay sila, if you're both moving the left and right hand together. So, everything that changes should happen before you move the bow. Kasi pag ginalaw mo yung bow, while changing, nag-overlap. Nagkakaroon tayo ng overlapping. No? This doesn't just end with our finger placement. This also affects string crossing and anything, no? Pati sa shiftings, no? Nakaka-apekto rin siya. So, technically, the last thing you want to move is your right hand, no? When you're trying to play. So, pero paano nga ba yon na hindi sila magsasabay? What practices or what exercises can you do para masanay na lagi mauuna yung left, no? So, you could practice slowing it down and then you give more time on that space kung saan siya bumibitaw, no? Well, there will always be a time where the bow will stop, no? Yun yung tinatawag natin dahil sa inertia, no? Which is when an object moves in one direction, if we're going to change the direction, we will come up to a point where it stops. No? So, when we go down, and then we want to go up, before we can change that stroke to an up bow from the down bow, there is this slight stoppage na mawawala yung tunog. And that's where you put this in. No? This is also called timing, of course. So, ita-timing mo yung kaliwa, or whatever change will happen first before you stroke. No? So, when we do it slowly, before I change, and then same thing, change, and then change, right before you play. No? Pag mabilis na, kasi pag sinabay-sabay mo sila, so malilate ka, you won't be coming in on time. Of course, magsa-struggle yun. Your sound will drag. So, you make sure that you control your left hand, diba? As we've said in a previous video about your left hand's rhythms, no? Ganun siya ka-importante. Kahit mas konti yung ginagawa ng left hand, you still need to give it emphasis. So, another way you can practice this is what they call hiccups, no? So, you can practice slow. So, you're stopping yourself. Parang ganyan yung nangyayari. So, you're stopping your bow. Once your bow stops, papasok mo siya. Hanggang sa masanay ka na. Kahit mabilis. And this also affects your string crossing. Hindi ka pwede mag-string cross on a moving bow. So, stop. And then you might ask, bakit pag tumutugtog hindi naman naririnig yun? Well, that happens because of your bow technique. No? Even though your bow is technically stopped moving, there's still this ringing sound. Diba? Kaya nag-resonate pa din yung sound natin. Even though we stop moving, yung sound waves nagta-travel pa rin sila. Because again, we didn't put pressure doon sa pagtigil natin. We just want to stop. Literal na ititigil mo lang yung bow. Diba? Before I even stop there, may tunog pa siya. So, hindi mo siya magagawa pag if you try to push down on the bow when you're moving. Diba? So, you have to make sure that you're moving the bow in a relaxed manner and then change. So everything that you play, you can apply this, no? It's like you're going to be having this basic principle of not playing when your bow isn't stopping. Okay, now, what happens if we're playing legato? So, it would be different, but almost the same pa rin, no? So, in a legato stroke, you can't move too slow naman. So, dahil wala masyado yung stoppage na nangyayari, what you need to do is move quickly. No? Move quickly pero kailangan connected pa rin siya. No? So, the change still happens at the same rate. No? So, with legatos naman, mas importante yung timing. Rather than just going into it ng may tigil. Kasi hindi tayo tumitigil, di ba? So, dito, you just have to be a little bit more accurate. Ayan. So, accuracy naman yung kailangan mong bantayan when you're trying to string cross, for example. No? But still, it's still the change comes first before the bow. No? So, technically, wag mo muna siya ihaharabas ng bigla. No? You don't want to change bow speed when you're playing legatos. It's the same way that you don't want to abruptly stop. No? Kailangan lahat ng ginagawa natin in rhythm in the way that we play. No? Yun yung pinaka-importante doon. So that you can play slow, you can play fast, no? But still maintain a certain level of your rhythms, maintain a certain speed, maintain the certain rhythms nga na kailangan mo, yung rhythmic patterns. So you can do that. So again, you can practice hiccups. So kahit bumibilis, no, kahit mabagal, ang importante, you land the fingers down after you stop. Lagay mo na agad, no? Para and then pag nasanay ka na, no, kaya mo na siyang gawin sa mabagal, you can lessen the stopping. So until mo na lang. So, magpapantay na siya. So, basically, that is how you make them sound together. No? Because a lot of teachers would say sa mga students nila na, hindi nagsasabay. So, a beginner would think na, kailangan pala sabay. No? So, when they put them together, lalo siya naguluhan kasi hindi niya na maintindihan. Sabay naman yung ginagawa, but technically, it's not really simultaneously happening. So, changes need to happen at stops. or changes need to happen pag meron konting dead air. Let's call it dead air, di ba? Kung saan pwede kang mag-change without people or even you noticing that you're changing. No? That's the important thing about this, is to connect your timing. No? It's all about timing, but it's more important that you understand how the individual pieces are put together. Diba? So your left hand moves first, and then technically, essentially, your bow moves last. No? In that process, in any process, even if you're playing chords, of course, no, your movement of the bow is, it's the last thing, but it's the most important thing. Why? Kasi your bow is going to make or break your sound. Yeah. So they're both important, but you have to make sure that you know which one comes first. Is it the left or the right? Yeah. So sana nakatulong tong video na to. If it did, drop a like, comment down below more content you want to see. If you have any questions, we'll try to answer it in a video. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. My course on Udemy is still available. Check out my music on Spotify, Apple Music, and all major music platforms. And of course, follow me on all my socials. All links you need down in the description box below. This has been Ryan Monakil for Violin Tips and Tricks. And I'll see you on the next video.